Hey, this is Mr. Mitchell, physical science teacher at Coosa High School. Let's talk a little bit about conversions. You will need conversions in physical science unit of motion and force. Now, you may see that I have in parentheses, learn these mathematically. You have done conversions like this before, where you've had the metric prefixes and where you have converting from one metric unit to the next. But this is a little more complicated, some of the things you'll be doing here. So if you were to convert 3.3 meters to centimeters, I know there's an easy way to do this. And I guess I could put it on a marker first. I know you can take 3.33 and just move the decimal to where you're looking for, and that means it would be 333. I know that. But that won't get you anywhere when you come to things like this. So let's learn how to do these mathematically. And here's how you do it. You set up fraction equations, and what you use is a fraction to convert it. See, we have 3.33 meters, and that will be over 1. Let's multiply it by a fraction that will convert this. And here's how you do it. You want to get rid of meters. So on the bottom, you're going to put meters on the bottom of the fraction line. What you're going to do is you're going to cancel meters out. And to convert it, what you're wanting to find is what you put on the top. So see, on the bottom, you put what it was, and on the top, you're putting what it will be. So you want to cancel these out, but what you need to do is figure out what you have here. So how many centimeters are in 1 meter? Well, if you move the decimal place twice, that means you have 100 centimeters in 1 meter. Now, if you struggle remembering about the centimeters and the meters, whether it's 100 or whether it's 1,000 or whether it's 10, this is something that you can Google. How many centimeters are in 1 meter? And that can be easily done. So that will help you on these conversion fractions. So from there, all you do is multiply across the top and put it over the fraction line, and across the bottom and put it under the fraction line. So we'll cancel these meters out, and you see what you're left with is centimeters. So 3.33 times 100 is going to be 333 centimeters. So I know this was more easily done this way, but I want you to learn how to do these mathematically so you can do ones like this. So why don't we erase this and we can do one like that. And keep in mind, we're going to use the fractional method here, where we're using conversion fractions in which to find these. So we've got 548 centimeters per minute. So let's start with 548 centimeters. And I'm going to put that over 1 minute. Centimeters per minute. So let's get rid of the centimeters. We're getting rid of the centimeters and going to meters. So we'll multiply, and we have a fraction line. You have to put centimeters on the bottom, because what you're doing is canceling out. You're going to cancel these out. You have one on the top and one on the bottom. So you want to go to put on the top what you're going to. You're going to meters in this case. So we're going to put meters here. So how many centimeters in 1 meter? We had that before. In this case, it's going to be 100 on the bottom. But that's only because centimeters is on the bottom. How many centimeters are in a meter? That's what answer you're looking for right there. So this should cancel out the centimeters, and you should be able to multiply across. However, you have not converted minutes to seconds. So what we'll do is we'll make another line. Now, where is minutes? Oh, there's minutes. Minutes is on the bottom. So we now have to cancel minutes out. So we would not put minutes on the bottom down here. We would put minutes on the top. So we want to cancel out. So if something at the bottom here, we go to the top here. And what are we going to? We're going to seconds. So how many minutes or how many seconds are in a minute. You have 60 seconds in 1 minute. And then you do exactly what you did before. You multiply straight across the top. 548 times 1 times 1, well, that was pretty easy. 548 times 1 times 1 is 548. Oh, let's cancel out the minutes. I forgot to do that. And what are we left with? That would be meters on the top. So let's see what we have on the bottom. We have 1 times 100 times 60. 1 times 100 is 100. 100 times 60 is 6 with 3 zeros behind it. And if you need to use a calculator, you're welcome to. And what unit is it in? It's seconds. So from there, all you have to do is make this a division problem. And you can see that we have 548 on top. So on my calculator that you cannot see, I'm going to type in 548 divided by 6,000, and that equals 0.09. So what we have this equaling, I'm only doing this because I'm running out of room, equals 0.09, and I'm going to go 0.091, and that's going to be meters per second. So that's how you would use conversions there. We do have a few more conversions. Let's see how we can do on these other conversions. We are converting meters per second to kilometers per hour. So let's go 51.3. Hopefully in your head you're trying to do this with me. 51.3 meters over 1 second. So first of all, let's get rid of the meters. We want to get rid of this. So we're going to multiply times a conversion fraction, and meters should be on the bottom because we're going to cancel these out. So we're going from meters to kilometers. Remember, you're canceling out the one that you started with, and you're going to, on the top end, in this case, put what you want to end with. So it could have been on the bottom, but it's on the top because it's opposite of this meters that is down there because we're canceling out. So how many kilometers are in 1 meter? Or how many meters are in a kilometer? Now I happen to know that it is 1,000 meters in a kilometer. That's something that if you needed to Google, you could do that. So that cancels out the meters. But we haven't canceled out everything. This is kilometers per second, but we're not going for kilometers per second. We're going for kilometers per hour. So let's do a conversion fraction to get rid of this second. Oh, and I am making stray marks. This should be just a 1 here. So we want to get rid of this second. So the second has to be on top. Remember, we're canceling out. The bottom cancels out with the top. So we're converting to hours. Ooh, this happens to be pretty tough. How many seconds are in an hour? Now, I happen to know this one because I have worked with conversion fractions a lot, but this might be something that you may have to Google also. It is 60 times 60, 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. Now, all you do is multiply straight across for the top and multiply straight across for the bottom. So you have 51.3 times 1 times 3,600. And I will do that on my calculator that you cannot see. And that will be 184,680. And we'll need to put the units, 184,680. And let's see what units are left. Ooh, I did not cancel out these seconds, but I can still do that now. And that is kilometers that are left. Over, looks like 1 times 1,000 times 1 is going to be 1,000. And that is going to be hours because that's what is left here. And when you put that in, that will equal 184.68 kilometers per hour. And I happen to be able to do that one in my head, but you are welcome to use calculators for any of that. Top number divided by bottom number is what that is. So now let's look at this one. We have converting 55 miles per hour to meters per second. This is a fairly common thing to be able to convert from miles per hour to meters per second. So let's try this. Oh, I gotta change that back up there. 55 miles per hour. So that is 55 with miles over 1 hour. Remember, you use these conversion fractions. So we want to get rid of miles, and we're going to meters. So let's have a conversion fraction. Where would the miles go? It would go on the bottom because you want to cancel these out. So what goes up here? It's what you're converting to. It's converting to meters. So I'm going to get rid of these miles. Oop, I guess I have to put what the numbers are first. There are 1609.34 meters in a mile. So I will put 1609.34. I did not leave myself a whole lot of room here, did I? But you can leave yourself more room on your paper. Okay, so that cancels out the miles, but we have not converted from hour to second. So let's convert another one. Yeah, I almost looked at the other problem here. This is going to be this problem right here. So let's do a conversion fraction. We want to cancel out the hours. So hours is on bottom here. So we'll put hours on top here. And we are going to seconds. So hours over seconds. So how many seconds are in an hour? Wow, we just did that one. It is 3,600 seconds in an hour. Like I said before, that is something that is easily Googleable, and you can find that. So multiply straight across the top and multiply straight across the bottom. So straight across the top, you can see 55 times, and you can probably imagine that I am doing this on my calculator that you cannot see, times 1609.34 equals, and that is 88,000 something. I will copy it here. Remember, you multiplied also by 1 hour, but that didn't count because it's times 1. Oh, I'm going to have to extend my fraction here. And let's cancel out the hours. I keep forgetting to do that, but eventually I do that. And that would be meters, because you're going to meters per second. Let's multiply straight across the bottom. 1 times 3,600. And it's 3,600 seconds. So now on your calculator, you just type in 88,513.7 divided by 3600, and you will end up with 24.587. 24.587 in this case. And what is the unit of this? Looks like meters per second is what this is. So there were 3 practice problems with conversions. I hope you can now go to these practice problems that are at tinyurl.com/y59. That's an L 60, not 0, but O 3D. And maybe you can do well on these conversion problems. I hope this was helpful.